Soccer moms, soccer dads, wine drinkers, and beer drinkers. Welcome to the Middle Age Moments Podcast, where they discuss everyday topics that your basic bitch
Who are you calling a bitch?
and grumpy ass men, you believe this shit, face daily. Hosted by your favorite imperfect couple, Chad and Erika Jump.
Hello and welcome to the Middle Age Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Chad Jump, and then we have Erika Jump in the house without being sick.
Not being sick, not coming home from a trip, nothing. I've been here all week.
She is back to her chipper self.
I am.
And so we are coming to you to bring you episode 8. We've come a long way. Eight episodes. I feel like
That's
it's
two
a
whole
good run.
months.
That's a good run.
Yeah.
And we've added some more listeners. I
Yeah.
think that's great. So
Yeah.
without further ado, we should just jump right into the episode, unless
Okay.
you have something you want to discuss.
No, I don't. I don't at all.
Well, I have one thing.
What?
So usually we discuss kind of what we did that's happened over the week.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that I should at least acknowledge the fact that I sold my monster truck.
Oh, we did. We sold the monster truck.
And
you got a car that fits inside the monster truck.
I certainly did get a car that fits inside the monster truck. So I bought a convertible so we can get ready for summertime.
That's right.
Because we're taking a drive down to the coast.
That's right.
We're going to put the top back, listen to some Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
And
Let our hair blow through the wind.
that's right.
Woo!
So we bought a convertible.
Yeah. Midlife crisis.
It was a midlife crisis. It was such a midlife crisis that the lady that we bought it from was older than us, and we basically she handed off her midlife crisis over to us.
Yeah.
So it was like midlife crisis handed down to another midlife crisis.
So you 30-year-olds out there, we're ready for you in just a few
yeah,
years.
just a couple more years, you guys can have this thing. So it's not. Wouldn't say it's not a Mazda Miata. I've already lost my man card. I know that, and I'm okay.
I don't think so. I think it's cool.
I've had this car once before. I had it as a demo when I used to work in the car business, and I really enjoyed driving the car.
Yeah.
I drove it on the Texas Motor Speedway. I got to test it before it came out.
Yeah.
And there's a newspaper clipping from Louisiana that says I am part of the Nissan Z team. Have you seen that picture?
I have not.
My mom has it. I'm sure when she listens to this episode.
Are you wearing slacks and also are you dressed real nice?
I wouldn't say I look like a used car salesman. I'm wearing wrinkled pants, probably in some t-shirt. But yeah, I look like a used car salesman.
Okay.
But I had this car once before, and so you know what? I was like, I've told you I'm going to get another one.
Right.
And it's just it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah.
And so
why not?
I did it.
Why not?
And it was I'm
now
really,
it looks like no one's at our house ever though.
It does. So like people are used to driving by and seeing the monster truck in the driveway because it wouldn't fit in the garage.
Yeah.
So now I feel like we're opening ourselves up
to robbery.
Because people are like, ain't nobody home.
Nobody's
we're just gonna creep in.
Then they're gonna just come in and they're gonna see that you're here.
Not only that, they're gonna come in and Chief's gonna dry hump their leg, especially if they have Axe body spray on.
Chad. Chief is our dog, for those of you that don't know.
So anyway, we bought a convertible Nissan Z, and so we're gonna drive it for a year. I'm thinking that I'll get rid of it at the end of the year, but you never know. You never know. So we're gonna drive it, and your car is coming up next,
right?
So it's not like we're just not gonna have a. But nothing says like I don't plan on anybody riding with me like buying a 2-seater car.
No.
And so like the other thing that I was really happy about is because it's happened to me a lot in the last 20 years. Is nobody's gonna ask me to help them move ever again,
unless they're moving one bag of golf clubs,
maybe some picture frames.
Can you move my CD collection? You'd probably be able to do that.
Might on a good day. So anyway, that's the biggest news of the week.
That is
from us. But we're gonna move on to That's Hot, and it is brought to you by 8088 Farms.
Over here at 8088 Farms, the biggest debate is which cut is the best. We have a filet lover, a sirloin lover, strip lover, and a ribeye lover. At 8088 Farms, everyone's steak needs are able to be met with delicious quality products. They're having a deal this week. They were having a deal last week, and they're continuing on because it was such a great deal. If you purchase $50 off their website and meat, you get free delivery. You have to enter the code in 88FD at checkout. Or if you purchase 10 pounds of hamburger, you get an additional 5 pounds of hamburger for free. That adds up to 15 pounds of hamburger when it's in your cart. And the discount will be applied if you enter in 5LBHB at checkout.
Can I just say that's a lot of meat?
15 pounds of hamburger?
Yeah, that's a lot of meat.
It's a lot
But
of meat.
Can I also say that strip is my favorite one?
Okay, the strip lover.
I'm a strip lover.
Okay, all right.
Not in love with a stripper. I'm a strip lover.
Thank goodness.
Yes, two totally different things.
Yes, but we are sponsored by 8088 Farms, and you can check them out at 8088farms.com.
All right, so let's bring it on in, Paris. What do we got?
That's hot. 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 This is hot.
So I have a pretty good lineup for That's Hot, I feel like, this week.
I'm excited.
So this one kind of came out of the blue. It is actually announced today. So there, the YouTube sensation Jake Paul, right? We've watched some of his fights.
Yes.
And you always like the hype concerts that are during with Snoop Dogg and
whoever was producing and had the rap concerts in between the fights. I like that.
Yeah, that was Jake Paul.
Oh, it was Jake Paul producing it.
Well,
okay.
I think he was putting it. He was pocketing all the money. He was promoting his own stuff.
I liked it.
So now, and he was partnered with Mike Tyson, I believe, during a few of those. But anyway, he is now going to fight Iron Mike Tyson.
No.
And Iron Mike Tyson is in his 50s.
No, why?
But if you was to YouTube Mike Tyson in his 50s training, I think he would probably kill half of the people, if not more of the people that step in the ring with him.
Chad, he bit off someone's ear. Would you ever fight someone that you genuinely knew bit off someone's body part?
Well, I mean,
No, I don't care how many YouTube followers I get. I'm not fighting Mike Tyson.
I couldn't beat Mike Tyson on Nintendo.
That's
I definitely don't want to fight him in person.
You could beat Joe Glass.
Joe Glass. I've been compared to Joe Glass. My wife made a joke one day, and she goes, "Why don't you dress up as Joe Glass for Halloween?" I was like, I didn't know how to take that.
Oh, isn't that the first guy you have to get through at the very beginning?
It is.
Yeah.
So you were calling me weak. That's why I didn't understand. I was like, you're calling me weak, or do I look like him, or what is the point?
I just thought because he made it to fight on the Mike Tyson game that he was cool.
It was a bad joke for you. I can just tell you that.
So sorry, know your audience.
So Mike Tyson is fighting Jake Paul on Netflix Live, which I believe there's only been one Netflix Live event, and that was Chris Rock. And it started late. So, but this is going to happen on live July 20th.
Oh.
Of this year.
So we'll be watching this, is what you're telling me.
But what I didn't read is are they charging us? Because the last live event on Netflix was free as long as you paid for the crazy membership and all the fees.
Just don't share your password with somebody else.
Yeah, I ain't no kidding.
That's probably why. I wonder if they were preparing
That's probably how they're going to catch everybody.
That is.
They're going to catch everybody sharing passwords from different IP addresses, and then they're going to shut that account down.
Yeah.
And you're going to call in and complain, and then they'll turn it back up once the pay-per-view's over, and then you get to pick one IP address.
This is their catfishing for everyone.
I feel like it's a good idea if that is in fact what they're doing. I would do
Subscribe, and then you get on, and it's like, you don't have a subscription.
Yeah, you have 5 IP addresses on one paper. That'd be pretty crazy. So the next one we have was one that actually caught me off guard. I was minding my own business. Matter of fact, you came to drop something off from lunch and went back to work, and you were in your car when the news actually broke.
Yeah.
That Jason Kelce was giving his retirement speech.
I am never in the car for an hour during lunchtime. There's no reason. I don't drive 30 minutes somewhere to turn around and drive 30 minutes back. But I feel like the clouds line, and here I was in the car for an hour. And Jason Kelsey, he got to my heart. I was ugly crying
Which is
in the
crazy, but whatever.
car.
Keep going.
In the car on my way back to work, and I got back to work, and the speech was like 40 something minutes long, and I got back to work and I had to like pull myself together in my car because I was crying so hard for Jason Kelsey.
Yeah. So you know what I did? You sent me that. You sent me the message that you were crying so hard that you had to pull over, and I didn't even respond to you. I went straight to social media
to the Book of Faces,
and I said, I cry all the time. I'm fat. You know,
I've got a beard.
I'm half-ass funny. I have a beard. Why aren't you crying for me? And I took that and put it on there out in the world.
And people thought it was funny.
Yeah. But you know what? Nobody posted that they cried for Chad that day because, you know what? I share the same characteristics as this guy. The only thing that Jason Kelsey, outside of being an awesome football player, has done is he's brought notoriety to guys like the average guy, you know?
Yeah.
And so I can thank him for that, you know?
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey, thank you for
I'm sure he's listening.
making big guys and hairy guys cool again.
Yeah, guys who wear
because I promise you
and
now,
flip-flops.
if you're a big hairy guy and you half-ass look and have a beard and half-ass look like Jason Kelsey,
yeah,
your odds of meeting somebody have now like tripled. So you better hold on to me tight. I can tell you that because I am
the convertible and
yeah,
it looks
and
like
I look like Jason Kelsey. You bet your ass. You better hold on tight, girl.
Wow. So sorry, we can't get back through the doorway because your head's too big to leave.
Yeah, I won't be able to get out of bed without lifting it up first. So the other hot topic that we had, which was kind of funny, this actually impacted me. Honestly,
it didn't me. I didn't even notice.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I freaked out, but it definitely impacted me. So, Facebook crashed. It's the 2K of Facebook. Y2K, isn't that what they call it?
Yeah.
So Facebook crashed. So last week we had AT&T and Verizon crashing.
Yeah.
This week we have Facebook crashing.
So is Facebook going to give everybody $5?
That is a good point. I like what you did there.
Yeah, because I'm going to wait for my $5. Even though it didn't really affect me, I'm going to wait for my $5.
Well, seeing as how you didn't pay for it, I doubt you get your $5. But
what if I was trying to sell something on Marketplace and I was in the middle of a really
that
big
is
deal?
exactly where I was going. So I was in the process of buying this car. Excuse me, and the only way I can contact him was through Messenger, and Facebook Messenger was down, and I'm standing at the bank trying to figure out who to make the cashier's check to.
Oh.
And I'm sitting there with the teller, and the teller's got people behind me, and he's like, "Sir, we need to kind of like," I'm like, "Yeah, man, just one more second. It's going to load." And it just kept asking me for my password over. And I'm like, man, did I click a button that is now a spam button or rerouting me to a hacker? And so, you know what I did? I uninstalled both apps, the Facebook app and the Instant Messenger, and I reloaded them like an idiot and plugged everything in. I went to authenticate it, and it said my authentication was no good.
Oh, so it really did affect you. I didn't know.
Yeah, it was like legit. So you know what I did? I just left. I didn't know what else to do.
You said, I can't buy this car because of Facebook.
So even though I don't subscribe or pay anything for Facebook, they definitely owe me gas money.
They owe you gas money.
For sure.
But, I didn't even know. I got one message from my mom, and my mom said, something is wrong with my Messenger. I'm going to have to just text you today.
Oh, so sad.
And
you can't get the read receipts with text.
I believe that she utilizes the read receipts. And so I was like, I didn't even pay any attention to it. And because obviously I was still sobbing over Jason Kelsey. But I didn't pay any attention to it, but she did alert me. And, I mean, I guess it's a big deal. Like, think about our lives before we had Facebook.
You know how much work got done in that period of time? Like, all the companies that are people that are working remotely or sitting at desks, they probably got more work done in that 15 minutes of downtime than they did in the entire 9 hours.
They're like, put everybody in Facebook jail, at least for a day, and let's see what happens. People are out applying for jobs. They're running 5K.
Yeah, next thing you know, our unemployment rate just disappeared.
Why are you out here finding a job? Because Facebook is dead.
Yeah. Let TikTok go down for a while and get
Oh,
these kids out.
No, not
Get these
the
kids out.
TikTok.
So the other thing that we were going to discuss is what the hell happened on Love is Blind. Like, I don't want to give any spoilers, but at this point, if you haven't watched it, you're just missing it. It's too late.
Well, we're caught up now because the last time we talked, we were only on episode 5. So we did take some of our
Dude, it is a train wreck waiting to happen.
We took some of our valuable weekend time and we spent it binge watching so we could catch up because we knew the finale was this week. And so even in our daily text, it's like, guess what came out today? The finale's out. And so
dress accordingly.
Yeah. And so I don't know. Like, I felt really let down on the finale last night. Like, really let down.
Well, I was let down as well, but make no mistake, I am like super excited for the reunion.
Me too.
Because the reunion, as long as they don't mess it up and do it live.
Oh yeah, Vanessa and Nick won't do that
then
again.
The reunion is going to be the best episode because there's so much dirt in the next episode.
Well, and with the people that we talked about that were engaged before the show, I mean, they have stuff that happened even before
it's not
the
even been
show
aired yet.
Went on.
And it hasn't even been aired.
So they're already putting articles out there that say like who is attending the reunion and who is not, because it's been an entire year, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of Love is Blind, did you see that one of the Shayna, she had a baby like last week, the one that the girl with the squinty eyes?
Yeah.
She
I already knew that.
You did.
I got the phone call
already.
already.
You called. Did you send her a baby gift?
Wasn't me.
Oh, was it? She's married.
Prove it.
But yeah, I was surprised at the finale because even when we were sitting there watching it, I was like, "Oh, did you see that?"
Yeah.
But at the same time, really, are we only just having a few weddings, not every couple that got to go on the honeymoon?
Yeah, and I think that they should make everybody go to the altar and say yes or no instead of letting them use the chicken exit like they used to have at Worlds of Fun on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
Instead of letting them do, I guess they don't want to do it because they don't want to fly all the family out.
Maybe
and the friends
the dresses and all that.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're gonna shortcut the show, I mean, it's gonna die down eventually.
Yeah, because if they're only turning out, like, let's just hypothetically say they only turned out 2 marriages out of something you've invested all this time in watching.
There was people on the show that I didn't even know that was in the last 3 episodes.
I know, at the pool
like,
party.
What are you doing here?
Who are you? Yeah. Oh boy.
So anyway, if you don't already know, Love is Blind is a total disaster in the last 3 episodes, and all it's going to do is make you want to look forward to the reunion. I can say with confidence that
we'll be watching it.
Well, yeah, that for sure. But the chick that said she was the celebrity.
Oh yeah, that looked like a celebrity.
Yeah, she's definitely
that poor girl.
She's definitely shouldn't show up to the reunion.
I don't know that they all live in it, so they all live.
Yeah, in Carolina.
And so like if they just had it, it'd be like having it here in Kansas City. Like you're gonna say, "Oh, sorry, I can't come because I'm too far out." No, so I bet they do a bunch of like via satellite.
I wonder what airline she's a stewardess for. Maybe we'll catch her on one day.
Ooh, maybe.
And I'll be like, you know what, you're onto something there. You do look like her.
And this lighting in the airplane lighting. Could you give me a drink?
Yeah,
thanks.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so
well, that was sponsored by 88 Farms.
It sure was. So now we're gonna kind of roll into our topics, and I like to preface that we're ahead of schedule, but we always fall behind.
He always lies about that.
Because this is where the cream rises to the top. And so we start going into a tangent on these topics. And the very first topic that we were sitting back and we were discussing is restaurant stories. Like there's a lot of restaurant stories, and man, I wish people would put in the comments and things like their restaurant story, because I'd love to hear their restaurant stories. Don't
you think so? I know you like the movie Waiting.
Yeah,
that movie was hilarious.
I liked it, but I mean, I was in the restaurant industry. I did work at a Flying J once. I ran the buffet, so I kind of knew what was.
Is that a job? What do you do when you run a buffet?
Well, you have to prep the food and take it out.
So you didn't cook; you just bring the.
Yeah, no. Everything is like pre-packaged. I mean, you cook it like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's truck stop food. It's come back from the bar at 2 a.m. food. But yeah, like
So like mashed potatoes.
I cooked the bacon, mixed the mashed potatoes,
Oh.
cooked the eggs,
I didn't know this.
defrosted and heated up the greatest Salisbury steak on the planet, mixed the gravy,
So
with water.
basically, you were a truck stop heart attack buffet is what
Yeah.
you were there.
Call it what you want.
I was never in the restaurant industry. Like
Yeah.
I was a hostess for like a brief time, but I always worked at grocery stores. So.
Yeah, I worked at a couple other restaurants where I was the dishwasher, which sucked. But nonetheless, these are restaurant stories that we kind of have, and we picked 2 or 3, nothing crazy in order to speed up the show a little bit. So I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, okay. All right. So, well, mine's not, the first one isn't really a story, but I will tell you that I never really thought about it until I started getting older, but I like to sit in certain spots at restaurants.
Yeah, I have to have my back. I have to be facing the door.
Why do you have to face the door?
Well, have you ever seen the movie Coming to America?
Yes.
And you remember when they were sitting in there before they got the job at McDowell's?
McDowell's, yes, I do.
All right, so you remember, and then one of the brothers flips up the mop and then fights the guy.
Yeah.
Well, it's because he saw the guy coming in with the shotgun. And ever since I saw that movie, from that day moving on, I never sat with my back to the door
because
ever
you're
again.
Ready to fight someone with a mop?
I just need to be. I'm not saying I'm going to fight. I'm not even saying I'm going to take a bullet for you, but I'm at least going to see it coming.
So you sit there. That's a fighting seat. That's in case you need to move to action.
No,
seat. No?
it's I'm going to see it coming and make a decision whether I'm going to run or I'm going to knock him down or.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to see it first before everybody else does.
Okay,
that's the seat that's called. It's not a fighting seat.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I don't do that for that reason.
You're welcome. I got your back.
Okay. Okay, good. Well, I don't like to sit by the door at all, period, because I don't like the weather. Unless I'm sitting on a patio, I don't like to sit by the door. I don't like the cold air rushing in while I'm trying to eat. I don't like all the traffic when I'm trying to have a conversation coming right there at the door. And I'm kind of like, it depends on the crowd that I'm with, but I'm kind of even a table snob. Like, do I want to sit at a high top? I don't know. Are these high top people? And I do not like to sit close to the bathrooms. I cannot with the bathrooms while I'm trying to eat. So I'm kind of particular, which I think kind of makes me an old lady because I feel like now, like when I was younger, I mean, my parents could have drugged me in anywhere and been like, we're sitting here. And I've been like, okay. And it could have been right by a swinging door that was blowing in snow. But now I'm not, I can't with that. I got to sit. I have to have, and I've had, because I'm that person, I've made people move me before. And I hate to even admit that, but I just.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, could you come here, please?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This isn't working for me. Can you find me another place?
There's too much cold air. And sometimes the ventilation in a place, like I've sat and tried to have a nice dinner.
Oh, I know. Next thing you know, your hot food turns cold before you can eat it because you're too busy talking. I've been there.
With me?
Yes, for sure.
But I don't like blowing on me the whole time. I don't like that. And there's one restaurant in Kansas City that I won't eat at because they have a sewer problem and you can smell it while you're eating dinner and I just can't.
Yeah.
So that's my restaurant story number 1. Go ahead.
So my restaurant story is an actual story. So when I was 18, 19 years old, I packed my stuff up and moved out west and stayed in California for a while.
Okay. Yeah.
And coming from the Midwest, it was a culture shock for me. I wasn't used to some of the things.
They loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly.
Pretty much, but it was Anaheim. But yes, so my brother and my sister-in-law and I went out. We had a good time. We lived right across the street from the Disneyland Hotel, so we always went out over there to drink and have fun with the tourists. And then, so anyway, we lived right next to a Denny's or a Perkins or something. So we were on our way home, and we decided that we're going to go in there before we head home. And keep in mind, it was a total culture shock for me.
Okay.
And so everything's Spanish there. So I go into this Perkins or Denny's or whatever it was, and we're looking through the menu, and my brother and sister-in-law order, and it gets to me, and once again, I've had a few drinks, but it's not even an excuse because I'm 100% sure I would have said this whether I drank or not.
Okay.
And so I get down to it, and I'm like, yeah, I'll have the senior omelet. And
muchas gracias.
Yeah. So my brother and sister-in-law, they're just giggling, and I'm like, the lady was like, "What do you want?" And in plain English, she was saying that, and I was like, "Oh, the senior omelet." And my brother and sister-in-law are still giggling, and the lady goes, "Oh, you mean the senior omelet? Are you 55?" I was like, "Oh shit." It's like, "Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, it's spelled different
just,
in Kansas.
just, French toast. I'll just take French toast. Do you have that?" So that was a not so good restaurant moment for me, and I look like a complete idiot. And I've never lived it down. I think I have a picture at every Denny's or Perkins, whatever restaurant it was. It says complete idiot, don't serve him.
The senior.
Yeah, senior omelet. Are you over 55? Do I look like it? I barely have a mustache on my face, man.
No, but my mom is. Well, that's funny. So I have another. So I was going out. This was pre-COVID. So this was like probably even like 2002, maybe. And I went out for a big birthday celebration for one of my friends. And it wasn't like an expensive restaurant. It was kind of like it wasn't fast food, but it wasn't like a really not, like they're not plating up nice, elegant dinners and things. But we ordered, and we're all a big group of us are all having a really good time. And the lady starts bringing out our food, and she's like, "Okay, I got a couple more plates. I'll be right back." She brings me my food, and as she's handing me my food, she sneezes on my plate.
Oh, nice. Well played.
So she doesn't like immediately isn't humiliated or anything. She hands me
Oh boy.
my plate to go ahead and eat my food. And like I looked at her, and I'm trying to be as nice as I can. So imagine me now 20 years ago, right? Trying to be nice. And I was like, "I'm not gonna eat this." And she was like, "Excuse me?" And I'm like, "Well, I can't eat. You sneezed on it." And she goes, "Well, I sneezed over the top of it."
Oh,
so
boy.
like she felt like she sneezed forward and it didn't land on my food.
Okay. Well, COVID would suggest different.
I know. Can you imagine if somebody sneezed on your plate now in the COVID world?
No.
Like somebody, if that would have happened, the waitress would have probably like broken the plate in half and ran out of the restaurant.
So another one that I have is we were at a small bar in the town that I was from, and I was there for a birthday party for one of my cousins, and we were at this bar, and this was like the day that, or not too far after the day that Bin Laden was shot.
Oh, okay.
And so we're sitting.
Thank you for that reference.
We're sitting at this bar in the small town where I'm from, and my cousin decides to order what was it? It was 2 shots and a splash is what it was called. 2 shots and a splash.
Okay.
So because he was shot twice and then they threw him in the water. That was the Bin Laden shot. So it was a Bin Laden shot that he created, right?
Oh boy.
And it was like, I don't know, it was disgusting. It was one of the worst things I've ever tasted in my life.
Okay.
Well, there's this guy that was with us.
Uh-huh.
And we knew of him, but we didn't know him.
Okay.
And so my buddy decided to buy him one. But this dude was like Marine, PTSD. We didn't know all this going in.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Hey, I got you a shot." And he goes, "Oh yeah, what's it called?" And he goes, "A Bin Laden shot." And he goes, "Well, what is in it?" He goes, 2 shots and a splash. And the dude grabbed my cousin's arm, and I thought he was gonna break it.
Oh my gosh.
Right then and there.
Oh my gosh.
And my cousin's not very big. And he's like, whoa. He's like, "I just bought you a drink, man." And the guy, he just was not listening. They had to like calm him down.
Wow.
Because of the name of the shot.
That escalated quickly.
The Bin Laden shot like triggered him.
Wow.
It was wild.
Crazy.
Super wild.
That's really crazy.
damnedest thing I ever seen.
Well, I have one that happened in a bar one time. So I went out with a group, and it was a bar and restaurant like Tanner's or something. And the place I went knew us because our kickball team would go there right before our kickball games on Thursday night. So we'd go there because they had happy hour and whatever, and we'd all get pumped up, and we're going to go play some adult kickball. We need to have a whole episode about my adult kickball years. You know, I was in the league for 12 years.
I do know.
So we're in there, and our kickball team's getting together, and everybody knew that's where we hung out, and so the waitress comes over, and she's like, "Hey," to one of the guys that was at our table. She's like, "I'm going to take your guys' order, and I'll go ahead and start with you." And he's like, "All right, I'm going to order this, blah, blah, blah." And she would always kind of go around the table. You know how they do. Well, she comes back, and she's like, I have something else for you. This poor guy. And his wife at the time was filing for divorce, and this waitress handed him, with his ex-wife or his wife there, divorce papers while we were in a restaurant.
Oh.
I wanted to, and then they started screaming and yelling at each other. I wanted to climb underneath the table and never come out because the waitress knew us, right?
Yeah.
Our group, because it was our kickball team, and we all have the matching shirts and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he got served divorce papers and a hamburger and fries.
Awkward.
It was very awkward.
So I only have one left. But I mean, I have more, but I'm just trying to keep it as PG as possible.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I've been known to be kind of not anymore, but in my prime, I was known to be kind of a pain when it comes to going to breakfast with.
Oh, okay.
And my sister-in-law and my brother and some of our other friends, they always got embarrassed when they went to go eat breakfast with me.
Why?
To the point where they stopped asking me to go.
Oh.
And the reason was because whenever we would go to order breakfast, you'd get the 2-egg platter with the sausage and the hash browns and the toast, right?
Yeah.
Pretty simple order, right?
Sounds delicious. Yeah.
It's really simple until you say, "Yeah, I'd like one of those eggs scrambled and the other one over easy."
Oh, why would you do that?
It's just the way I always ordered my breakfast.
That's weird. You don't do that anymore. It must be now you're old enough. That's ridiculous.
No, it's because my sister-in-law goes, "Chad, your food is always spit in every time you go." She goes, "I promise you, your food is always spit in."
Yeah.
So I did it for years.
Yeah.
And then finally she said that, and I was like, you know what? She's probably right. I probably
just get the basics, Chad.
Yeah, just let it go. Just get 2 eggs the same way. Don't try to make them different.
So you're giving me crap about where the ventilation and where I want to sit, but yeah, you're a diva and you're ordering 2 eggs.
I was. You still are.
I am still a diva. Please don't send me by the door unless Chad's there ready with the mop handle to beat someone down.
So the next topic that we have is did that just happen? And this could be anything. I don't have too many. I have 3, but I don't have to go over them all. But I will if I have time, or I'll make time.
Why's your voice so high?
Because I'm just getting everybody excited for what they're about to hear.
Okay, all right. Well, you get to go first then.
All right. So we were at, what was it?
Oh, this is us?
A baby yes, you and I.
Oh, okay.
You and I were at a gender reveal party for our daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And we have all of your family present.
Yep.
And we have your
ex-husband
was there, and his girlfriend was there.
Yep.
And we have my mom, the old trooper. She showed up as well.
Right.
And so we're all sitting outside because we were waiting on your ex-husband to show up.
Yeah.
And
he was only 3 hours late, but whatever.
So anyway, he gets there, and I'm like, I meet him out by his car, and I'm like, man, I was like, you've
met him several times before this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, man, you are the man. And he's like, what do you mean? I go, dude, coming in just whenever you want. That's solid.
Rolling in whenever.
Man, I can't wait to be like that.
Yeah.
And have that clout.
Yeah.
And then so he was walking by and getting closer to the family, and and your sister was sitting there too, which I hadn't really met your sister a lot until just then.
Yeah.
But I said, "Hey, man, I finally got your wife to take your name, or get rid of your name." I said, "That should make you happy, huh?" And he's like, "Huh?" I was like, "She's no longer Elaney." And I was
Yeah.
like, "She's been carrying around your name for all these years.
Yeah.
I finally got her to change it." I mean, he's like, "Yeah, okay." And then your mom and your sister and my mom were like, "What in the hell
Did that just
did
happen?
he just say that to him?" And Jim took it in
Yeah.
great spirit.
You know what?
He was very honored that it was finally gone.
Oh,
Matter of
man.
fact, you told a story about he's the only one, that's the cool one, that was still
Yeah.
left anyway. So
Yeah.
I
He when we lived in the same town, we would both pay water bills, and you had to pay by check and drop it off and whatnot. And he would always write on his check the cool Laney on his
Yeah.
check. And I kept it obviously because I never got remarried until I met you, and I didn't really want to go back to my maiden name. I think the last name thing for a woman is really hard to decide. Like, do you keep the same last name as your kids? Because my kids were that. Or
Mhm.
do you go back to a name that no one's known you? No, I was 18 when I got married. So
Sure.
I ditched that name a long time ago. I mean, can you imagine when you met me and calling me Erica Ratliff? Like, come on now.
I thought it was funny. I thought,
Yeah.
and Jim, if you're listening, I commend
Yeah.
you for it,
It
because
was pretty
you took
funny.
it in great spirit,
Yeah.
and you ran with it,
Yeah.
and
He was like, yeah, thanks, man.
I
I'm
was
like,
I was glad that you
whatever.
did, because I couldn't take it back, because I already said it. So
Yeah.
thank
It's
you
out there.
for being a good team player.
It's out there. Well, so maybe I don't always have the greatest of exes, because my did that just happen story has to do with a different ex.
Mm-hmm.
So not all breakups are amicable. Not all breakups are good. Some of them are quite terrible. And you say, like, I just want my CDs back, or,
Yeah, give me my sports memorabilia.
yeah, my Letterman jacket,
Yeah.
whatever, my class ring, whatever stage of life you're in, and whatever the breakup happens. So, word to the wise, if you are in a dating relationship, don't put both people on the lease.
Okay.
Things can happen during 1 year that maybe you don't expect. So put one person on the lease. That way, when one person leaves the relationship and leaves said apartment, they are no longer on the lease. So I had a breakup with the person that I dated for a long time, I lived with, and he was still on the lease. Like I said, kids, lesson learned. This is a TED talk. But when when you tell someone that they can't live there any longer, but they're still on the lease, it does not matter. Did you know that, Chad?
No, because usually when I find myself in a
In a
situation
lease situation.
I just call the best the most popular contact in my phone, and he takes care of it.
Oh, well, anyway, so I had this lease and it had 4 more months on it. So the relationship had ended, and now it's time for us to go our separate ways. The problem with that is that said other leaser of the apartment still had a key because it was legally his home. And so one day he came on in my house and he took all of my right shoes.
Oh yeah, what did you do with him?
I do not know. Maybe started a right shoes only website. I don't know. He took every single right shoe that I owned. So I come home from work, come in the house, and now all I have in my closet is left shoes.
You had to have been pissed when it happened. You're
It
laughing now and smiling and joking, but I mean, let's be honest. Like, you
it
had to
was
throw some stuff,
it was diabolical. Like, it is the
because that's
most.
got to be an expensive shoe collection just with both shoes. I can't imagine. It's like a half. It's like the value is now half, right?
The value is zero. You have no, unless you're going to sell to a one-legged person somewhere.
Shout out to the one-legged people out there.
Yeah, if you're looking for some shoes. But yes, at the time it was very, very upsetting. And I was standing there going, is this my life? And what happened? And I have friends that all I have to do is talk about, remember that one time my shoe, and they cannot, still to this day, they talk about it. And that was probably 10-ish years ago.
Yeah.
But it was the WTF moment of my freaking life. And not only that, I'm going to let you a little other side note on this. He stole one piece of all of my swimsuits as well. So try that.
He's
man.
probably sniffing them as we're sitting here talking.
And wearing my one shoe around.
He's wearing
the
your
house.
one shoe and sniffing
But
them.
like, that is a did that just happen story that I can tell in any crowd, and I will.
Yep.
Number one.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
it.
bad.
That's a knockout.
That one's pretty bad. So, another one that I have is also about us.
Oh, it's about us. Okay, we're both on the lease. Got it.
Yeah. So we were at a softball game not too long ago.
Oh yeah.
And we were seeing your niece's softball game, and it was just a typical Tuesday night.
Watching
and we
some
go out
7th
there
grade
to
softball.
support our 7th grade softball girl, and we're standing out there just kind of like fellowshipping with everybody, just like kissing babies and shaking hands.
Yeah.
And there was this guy that was from your past.
Well, you went off and talked to some of your friends because you had some people that were there too.
Yeah. So I was talking to some of my friends, and this guy from your past that was infatuated with you
in high school
came up to you. No big deal. Everybody moves on.
Right.
But this guy. So so anyway, he stands there and talks to you for a while, and I'm like, all right, and I would jokingly tell my friends, hey, I probably should go break this up. This gets looking pretty serious. And so as soon as I go over there, you're like introducing me to the guy, and he didn't really want any part of it.
He did not.
And he's like, all right, well, I'll see you, and I'll be back later. And I was like, be back later? Did that just happen? Like he's gonna wait for me to walk away, and then he's gonna come back? And so I hung around for a little bit, and then I just like went and sat on the bleachers by myself just to see if the dude actually meant what he said. And so sure as shit, dude went right back as soon as I walked away, like immediately.
What's the funniest thing about this whole story is he had a folding chair that he brought his
dude sat down right next to her as soon as I walked away. I was like, did that just happen?
He unfolded his chair not once but twice.
And so then I'm like, I don't even know what to do. I don't want to go back over there because as soon as he picks his chair up, I'm probably just going to cold cock the guy.
You're going to use your mop handle.
And I have enough army to make sure I win.
Oh,
right?
my goodness.
So, because we're on my home ground.
Oh, my goodness.
And so I'm like, man, this dude. So, yeah, that was ridiculous. And if you're listening to this, I hope you know who the hell you are because I'm watching you this time. I got it for you this time.
I see you in your folding chair.
Yeah, I know your wife.
Oh, that was really funny. In your face, you were like, he sat his chair down not once but twice, which I thought was really.
And
funny.
I was really expecting like you to walk away, but I don't even think you even realized what's happening.
Didn't. I was just talking and watching the softball.
And so we get in the
game.
car, and I'm explaining it to you, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that really did happen."
Yeah, that did happen. Sometimes I'm oblivious to stuff like that because I just see the good in people, and I'm just like, oh, I'm sure he was just sitting down having a good time.
Wasn't happening.
Speaking of getting in the car, so I have a last one on what did that just happen. So I worked on the Sprint campus and for many years, and so I drive about 30 minutes back and forth to this campus. And a lot of times, and Chad, you know this, I'm distracted when I get out of my car. Somebody could probably take all of my money and everything because I've normally got my phone on my shoulder or I'm doing something.
Looking at your phone.
I'm looking at my phone when I'm getting out of my car. I'm always multitasking. And so one day I got out of my car at work and went in like any other normal day, ate lunch in the campus cafeteria. I came back out 8.5 full hours later, and my trusty little car had been sitting there running all day long.
Nice. Well, it should have been warm by the time you got in it.
And I was like, what just happened here? How in the world did A, my car not get stolen, and B, my car have enough gasoline in it to make it
Well, it was a
all
Honda,
day?
so it's not the most. Nobody really needs a Honda,
But
and Honda's gas mileage is really good.
I
So.
know, I was like so proud of my little car, and I was like, and clearly I need to pay more attention.
Yeah.
Clearly I need to pay more attention when I get in and out of my car. So thank you for people to not stealing my car that day.
It was a
just sat
different. It
there.
was a different year. Those times are past. That car would have been gone by now if it was you did it this
Maybe.
time.
Or somebody would have squatting in it and calling
Yeah.
it their homestead.
For sure. So the last one, which we'll wrap it up here,
Oh, okay.
is so this has happened to me a few times, and I know it's even happened to you.
What?
So during my single time,
Single Chad.
yeah,
Got it.
that I had been approached while I'm out having a good time. I went to this specific place, and I didn't even know that it was a swingers
You didn't see the
bar.
upside down pineapples.
I didn't see any blue lights going into it, or I didn't see the globe, the little clear, the mirror globe outside the restaurant. And so I was in this place, and little did I know it was a swingers bar.
Surprise!
And I was the bait.
Oh, Jesus.
So, not that feel like I'm very attractive.
Hey, you just said you look like Jason Kelsey, so maybe.
Well, Jason Kelsey was at that time was not very attractive.
Okay.
And now he is, but
Yeah.
then he was not. And so I felt like I just have it written over on my face, like this guy, done deal, like wrap it up. So I walk into this place, and I'm with friends, by the way.
Okay.
And we're standing at the bar, ordered a drink. I'm actually with somebody that I just met, and we're going in. And little did I know, the person that I'm with is what we would like to call the bait.
Oh.
She is the one that the swingers send out to
She's the fisherman.
To go get the people to
Oh
try to get them to come
gosh.
back. And I was like, so we're standing at the bar, and this lady goes, kiss me. And I'm like,
Oh. And you said, in the milky twilight.
I was like, no. She goes, why not? And I was like, well, your husband's right there, and I happen to know who he is.
Oh.
And he's
awkward.
pretty ripped. And I was like, and he's kind of leaned over with his hand on his ear on the bar, and he's like, do it. And I'm like,
oh my God.
No, man, I'm not doing it. And I go, and I'm like, look, I know you're swingers. I just start yelling it. I'm like, look, I know you're swingers. It's not it's not my jam, right? Like, so just, I'm not doing it. Let's just let me finish this beer, and let's just get it over with.
You pull the fire alarm, run out of the restaurant.
Yeah. And so I was like, I'm not doing it. So anyway, I ended up awkwardly leaving, and it happened to me again many other times.
Did you cover your drink with your hand?
It happened to me.
Out?
It happened to me many other times at that damn place. I don't even know why I keep going back there, but because I feel like I have it written all over my face. So then
I know the place you're talking about because it's in Lee Summit, right?
It is in Lee Summit. I wasn't gonna say that, but yes.
Okay, but they have really good salads
they
there.
have tremendous chicken strips. So, and then it's happened to us again while we were married.
Oh yeah.
And once again, Erika's naive to the whole situation, and we're out having a good time, and I'm really getting mad.
Yeah.
Because it's very obvious to me, and it wasn't obvious to you.
No.
So
I just think people are being nice.
So I'm like, so this dude this girl would be like, come to the bathroom with me.
Yeah.
And Erika's like, okay, thinking that she's just going to have girl time. And the dude always would follow him. And they went to the bathroom a lot.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what in the hell is happening?
Yeah.
And so I'm like big brother, I'm standing by the door to find out what's going on while the dude is sitting outside. And so nothing happened. I don't think they made it out in the bathroom. Maybe they did. I don't know. And so then they come out, everybody's giggling. We go back to the bar. I go back and take a seat back in my spot. Next thing I know, they're buying you drinks.
Yeah.
And they're not just any drinks. They're shots, which you don't do.
No.
And I'm like, they're trying to get her all liquored up.
Yeah.
And so once again, I got to get out of my seat. I go over there and I'm like, what's going on? And they were like, nothing. I was like, thinking to myself, well, why aren't you buying me drinks, man? Like, I'm cool. I'm funny. I'm fat. I got a beard. And so like nothing. And so nothing happened. They didn't buy me a drink. They just kept buying her and just pumping her full of drinks. And so Erika comes over and she sits by me and I'm like, at first I thought it was the guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, that dude is hitting on you. And I'll be honest
Yeah.
with you. Not saying that I'm right, but my opinion matters. This is marriage counseling talking.
Yeah.
Not that I'm right, but my opinion matters. We need to separate ourselves from the situation.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, stop it. He's just very friendly. I've known these people for a while. And I'm like, Erika, I'm telling you, something's not right. Well, then, they keep doing it. And finally, I had enough.
You were ready to leave.
Yep.
Yeah. So
and
we left.
We left and we fought all the way home.
We did, because I really did think they were just being nice.
We fought all the way home. Hell, we even fought all week, probably. And like,
wait, you're not supposed to tell people on the podcast that we fight. We're supposed to be perfect.
And then like, what's really, and it just kind of went away from there. We never talked about it again. Well, then like, I don't know, 6 months, maybe even a year later.
Yeah.
You go, I happen to bring up their names and you're like, oh yeah, they're swingers.
Yeah.
I'm like, I knew it. I knew it. I knew I wasn't wrong. I was like, but why am I just now finding out about this? And you're like, well, I mean, I'm like, you didn't want to accept the fact that I was right. That's the reason.
I don't know. But Chad, like, that is not, like, I don't know, like, those things just don't register in my brain, I guess, sometimes. So I'm just like, oh, people are being nice and being social. And you're like, hello? Because sometimes I do, like, have the very naive, even though I feel like I'm pretty worldly, I have a very naive look on life and I want the good in everyone. And I just think people are just being kind.
Well, make no disrespect to the swinger community. Like, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But yeah. I can tell you right now, I am not your guy. Like, I can't. I'm insecure about my own self. I can't imagine taking on somebody else's responsibilities. So I just went from being, Mr. Big Time with a big truck to now driving a sports car. So I went from overcompensating to undercompensating really fast. But that's what Jason Kelce does. That's the Jason Kelce effect. So you go from overcompensating, and now big guys with beards, and things. Now that's cool. So I went to undercompensating. Now I drive a sports car with convertible.
He said that he's the most overrated person in the world right now.
Yeah,
that's what he says.
Well, so. I guess that's how I'm feeling.
Oh, overrated?
I'm feeling overrated because I was overcompensating. Now I'm undercompensating.
Oh, overrated.
Yep. So anyway, that is my final story that involved both of us. Like I said, no disrespect to the swinger community. I'm gonna speak on both of our behalf. And
out.
And Erika, you better agree with me. We are not your people. So just if you happen to see us rolling, just walk on by.
Don't be nice to us because we don't understand.
Wave from afar. You can still buy us a drink, but do it in somewhere else, another place that's not in this bar. So anyway, that's all we have for today. We hope that you enjoyed episode 8 of Did That Just Happen? And we look forward to doing episode 9.
Yeah. And like us, share our episodes on Facebook, listen to us, subscribe.
Send us some comments of your own stories.
Yeah, send us things. We'll read them on our next show. We have, you guys hear all our stories. We'd love stories from you guys.
We should probably do a segment of
the viewers
of other people's sayings.
Oh, okay.
We have to come up with a better name, obviously, but
okay, we'll think on it. We have a whole week.
Other people's stories.
All right.
Other people's topics.
Okay.
We should just I want to incorporate them, because we have people that make comments.
Yeah.
That I via text and via instant messenger and things like that. But I would like to incorporate people that actually contribute. Like give us the 5-star reviews on Spotify. Yeah. Likes, share, subscribe. We don't have to name drop them. If they want us to name drop them, just put it in the comment and we'll do that. But I'd like to come up with something small that we can share.
We'll talk about it while we're waiting for the Love is Blind reunion. How about that?
We'll definitely do that.
Yeah. And next week we'll have the Love is Blind reunion.
I think it's March 12th.
March 12th. That okay? All right, that's before next
Yeah.
episode. All
Yeah,
right, I'm
so
in.
we have time.
Okay,
All right. So until then, we'll see you soon.
bye.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode of Middle Age Moments. Visit middleagemoments.com for previous and future episodes. Until next time.